Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Before we start our lesson, let us recite 5 surah. The first one, Surah Al-Fatihah. The second one, Surah Toha ayat 1 hingga 5. And then Surah Al-Inshirah, Surah Quraish, and Surah Al-Ikhlas by 3 times. After that, selawat ke atas Rasulullah SAW selama 2 minit. Dan kita niatkan selawat kita ni yang pertama untuk memenuhi perintah Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, kedua untuk memenuhi hak Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, dan yang ketiga untuk mendapat syafaat Rasulullah di akhirat kelak. Dan kita niatkan juga segala bacaan hafalan surah kita ni dan selawat kita ni untuk kedua orang tua dan seluruh umat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Kemudian doa sebelum belajar. Semoga dengan amalan ini akan membuka pintu hati para pelajar untuk mencintai ilmu dan mendapat ilmu yang berkah. Amin.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم طه ما أنزلنا عليك القرآن لتشقى إلا تذكرة لمن يخشى تنزيلا ممن خلق الأرض والسماوات العلى الرحمن على العرش استوى. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ألم نشرح لك صدرك ووضعنا عنك وزرك الذي أنقض ظهرك ورفعنا لك ذكرك فإن مع العسر يسرا إن مع العسر يسرا فإذا فرغت فانصب وإلى ربك فارغب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لإيلاف قريش إيلافهم رحلة الشتاء والصيف فليعبدوا رب هذا البيت الذي أطعمهم من جوع وآمنهم من خوف. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قل هو الله أحد الله الصمد لم يلد ولم يولد ولم يكن له كفوا أحد.
اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد. 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 محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل 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 محمد
Doa sebelum belajar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma aftah alaina hikmataka wanshur alaina min hazaini rahmatika ya arhamar rahimin. Ya Allah, bukakanlah ke atas kami hikmat-hikmatmu dan limpahilah ke atas kami khazanah rahmatmu. Wahai yang maha pemurah lagi maha penyayang.
Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Ya Rabbku, lapangkanlah untukku dadaku dan mudahkanlah untukku urusanku dan lepaskanlah kekakuan dari lidahku, supaya mereka mengerti perkataanku.
Amin.
Amin, 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 ya Rabbal Alamin. In this session, I will combine all the topics in operation with decimals, and there are 4 subtopics altogether. The first one will be significant figure, but in terms of decimal. 1.2.2 estimation in decimal. 1.2.3 word problems in decimals, and the last one, it's about recurring decimal. So here are the 4 subtopics that we're going to cover in this session. The first subtopic will be 1.2.1 significant figures. Can you please get ready with your notes, page 18, and your worksheet, page 18. Learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, students should be able to explain the concept of significant figure. Second one, use significant figure to round decimals when solving problems. And steps to success, revise how to count significant figures, read the question carefully, round off the values to the given significant figures. Okay, for this example 43 and example 44, I want you to try first. And we did do the significant figures in our previous topic. And I did explain about the involvement of decimal when it come up with significant figures. And remind you that this 0 is very important. Okay, the 0 is very important. When the 0 in front, it is not counted. When 0 at the back is counted, and 0 in the middle is counted. Please remember this one. It's very important for you to know. Alright? And here I will give you 1 minute to solve this example 43 and example 44. Okay, example 43, you need to count the number of significant figures, and here we have 3 significant figures, and the next one will be 6 significant figure. Why? Because at the back is counted. 0 at the back is counted. Be careful with that. And what about the last one? We only have 1 significant figure. Why? Because 0 in front is not counted. Example 44, round off all the numbers to 3 significant figures. The first one will be 25.7. Do not put 00 at the back. Why? Again, back to the basic, 0 at the back, the significant figure is counted. Okay? And the second one, it will be 0.000678. We start counting the significant figure from the value of 6 here. Okay, but you need to copy down all the zeros in front here and stop up to 3 significant figure, which is at the 8, and it is round down. Okay, the next one, the answer is 9.02, and the last one, the answer is 30.0. Why we put 0? Because the question asks you to round off to the 3 significant figure, and 3 significant figure involved at this part. Okay, next, the second subtopic, 1.2.2, estimation with decimal. So can you please get ready with your notes, page 19 until 20, and your worksheet, page 19 until 20. Learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, students should be able to make and justify estimates of more complex calculations involving decimals, concept of significant figures. And steps to success. The first one, revise significant figures. That is very important. The second one, read the question carefully. And the last one, solve to get the estimated value. Moving on to the example. The example 45, estimate. Okay, circle the keywords estimate. Estimate correct to one significant figure the value of each of the following. Remember, for estimation, you need to round off each of the value first. Okay, according to whatever given, round off. And here, the round off given is correct to one significant figure. Now, solution, round off all the values correct to one significant figure. So 4,988 will become 5,000, and 21.5 will become 20. Okay, and you don't have to put 20.0. Okay, you don't have to put 0, just put 20. Okay, and we have 100,000 here. When we double check the final answer, this final answer is yes, it's correct to one significant figure. Okay, and for part B, I give you 20 seconds to try. Okay, so we have 60 plus 70 plus 90 plus, minus 20. Okay, so 60 plus 70 plus 90 minus 20, and you should get 200. Next, example 46. Estimate correct to two significant figure the value of square root 7.99 times 25.01 divide 1.998. I will give you 20 seconds to try. Now, for these questions, we round off first each of the value to two significant figure, and it will become 8.0 times 25 divided by 2.0. Okay, just put the 0 here because the question wants two significant figures. And don't forget the square root. Don't forget the square root, and then we simplify, you will get square root 200 out of 2.0 and square root 100, and the answer will be 10. Example 47. I give you 20 seconds to try. Okay. Estimate the value 4.9963 times bracket negative 8.006 square divide 0.9863, giving your answer to one significant figure. Step 1, round off to one significant figure. Step 2, you simplify. Remember, if the question asks you about estimate, you need to round off each of the values. Okay? And you should get 5 times bracket negative 8 square divided by 1, and you should get 320. And look here, do you think your answer here is already one significant figure? If not yet one significant figure, you need to further round off. Okay, and here we need to round off again to one significant figure. Therefore, the final answer will be 300. Example 48. I give you 20 seconds to try. Okay, now here you need to be careful with the question. By making suitable approximations, estimate the value. Okay, suitable approximation. Okay, suitable approximation mean the logic round off. That you think the logic round off. Okay, suitable, sesuai, suitable. Okay, and here we have square root 24.68 times cube root 27.19 divide 0.485, and for the numerator, the suitable approximation will be one significant figure. Why? Because we have perfect square root 25 and we have perfect cube root 27. But for the denominator, if you round off to the nearest whole number, it is impossible. Okay, because the first value here is 0 and we cannot divide by 0. And here, we round off to one decimal place and round up will become 0.5. So think logically, we cannot round off to the nearest whole number here because to the nearest whole number will be 0. Why? Because the next number is 4, so round down. Be careful with that. Okay, this is exam questions. And then you simplify, you will get 5 times 3 divided by 0.5, and you simplify, and then you should get 30. The final answer is 30. Example 49. I give you 20 seconds to try. Okay. By rating each number correct to one significant figure, show that an estimate for this calculation is 40. When the question asks you about show, that means you need to do the full workings, okay? And here we round off each of the value to one significant figure, and you will get 10 plus 20 divide by 3 plus 30, and then you simplify further, you should get 40. Now, when you get 40 here, that means you already answered the questions. Therefore, shown. Example 50, 20 seconds from now. Okay. Rashid ran 16.5 miles one day and 22.8 miles the next. What is his estimated total mileage? Okay, estimated. Circle the word estimated. When the question asks you about estimate, that means automatically you need to round off all the value here, each of the value here. So 16.5, you estimate to the nearest mile, so 16.5 will give you 17 miles and 20.8 will become 23 miles. And then what is his estimated total? When we say total, that means plus. Therefore, the final answer is 40. Example 51, 20 seconds from now. Alright. Estimate. Circle the word estimate. Estimate how many toys costing 8.48 pounds each can be bought for 425 pounds sterling. Alright? When we see the question about estimate, okay, circle the word estimate. Therefore, you need to round off each of the value here. 8.48 become 8 pounds sterling, and 425 pounds sterling will become 400 pounds sterling. Usually we round off to the nearest pound sterling. Okay, and step 2, we need to know the number of how many toys, okay, be able to bought for 400 pounds sterling. Therefore we divide, and the answer is 50 toys. Moving on to 1.2.3, word problems. Can you please get ready with your notes, page 20 and 21, your worksheet, page 21 until 22. Learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, students should be able to solve multi-step word problems involving calculations with decimals. Steps to success. First, read and circle important information. Circle the key questions, and the last one, solve the questions. Don't forget to write down all of the steps to success in your notes. Example 52, I give you 20 seconds to try. Okay, Easter saved $238.90 in October and $120.55 in November. She then bought a bag for $180.45. How much of her savings was left? Remember, this is about word problem. We don't see the word estimate here. So you need to solve these questions as usual. Okay. Now, save means plus because it add her money, and also $120.55 is also 8. She then bought. When she bought, that means she spent the money, so minus, and total saving left will be $238.90 plus $120.55 minus $180.45, and your final answer will be 179 cents. Example 53, I give you 20 seconds to try. Okay, Harun's mass was 65.9 kg and Tom's mass was 54.3 kg. 7 months later, Harun lost 2.4 kg but Tom gained 1.8 kg. Find their new total mass. Alright, now, so you circles all the keywords, alright? And when Harun lost, that means subtract. When Tom's gain, that means 8. Okay? The new total mass for Harun will be 65.9 kg minus 2.9 kg. So his new mass will be 63.5 kg. While Tom, he gained his weight, so 54.3 kg plus 1.8 kg, and Tom new mass will be 56.1. But the question asks you about their new total mass. Therefore, the final step you need to add their mass, and the final answer will be 119.6 kg. Example 54. I give you 20 seconds to try. Okay. Hyrule had a jar of jelly beans that weighed 56 ounces. He added 16 more ounces of jelly beans to the jar. Then he divided the jelly beans evenly into bags that each weighed 8 ounces. How many bags of jelly beans did he make? So the keywords here is added. So when we say added, that means plus. 56 plus 16 will give you 72. And then divide means you need to divide bags that each weight 8 ounces. So 72 divided by 8. Therefore, how many bags of jelly beans? The answer is 9 bags. Example 55. I give you 20 seconds to try. Okay. Rebecca's kite is flying at a height of 17.2 meter, and Shelley's at the height of 21.5 meter from the ground. Whose kite is flying high and by how much? Alright. Now, whose kite is flying high and by how much? When we see here, we can tell that Shelley's kites is flying high by how much? So you need to find the difference. Therefore, whose kite will be Shelley? and the difference will be 4.3. Last subtopic 1.2.4 recurring decimal. Can you please get ready with your notes, page 21 and 22, and your worksheet, page 23. Learning objectives. First, explain recurring decimals and that they can be written as fraction. Second, recognize simple recurring decimal for 1/3, 2/3, and 1/9. Steps to success. Copy this down in your notes. Know how to convert fraction to decimal. Identify the repeat number after decimal point. And last one, put dots or bar above the numbers that repeat. Recurring decimals. Recurring decimals are decimals that have one or more repeating numbers or sequences of numbers after the decimal point. Which continue infinitely. Okay, and this recurring decimal can also be written as fraction, like here, 2/3. When we express this 2/3 into decimal, it will become recurring decimal. How we know? Because the 6 here repeated itself. After the decimal point is 6, right? And that 6 repeated itself, so that is recurring decimal. We need to put a dot above that 6. 6/11, when we express into decimal, it will become 0.54. 54, 54, and 54. Okay, and 5, 4 are the repeated value, therefore we put dots above the 5 and 4, or you can put bar like this. 5, 6, when we express into decimal, it will become 0.833333. And do you think you're going to put dot above the 8? No, because it is not 8 that repeated. The repeated here is 3. Okay, and here, a recurring decimal is represented by placing a dot or a bar above the number or numbers that repeat. Okay, if you do understand what I did explain in previous slide, now for this example 56, I will give you 1 minute to try. Okay, for the part A, you should know this because I include this 1/3 in previous explanation. So 0.3 and put dot above the 3. 19 will become 0.11111. 1 is the repeated value, so 0.1. Put a dot above that 1. 5 top will become 416666667. So where you should put that dots? At the value of 6. Okay. Copy down all these workings here, okay, in your notes, not only your final answer here. We continue for part D. Part D, you get 0.512121212, and the repeated value is 1 and 2. Therefore, you only put dots above that 1 and 2. 31 out of 90, you get 0.34444, and then 4 is repeated. Therefore, you need to put a dot above that 4. And the last one, part F, you should get 0.4727272. Therefore, 0.4 and 72 here. Here I put bar, but if you want to put dots also, can. Now, the last part before we stop, let's consider this example. 127 divided by 999, and you should get 0.127, 127, and 127 like that, continuously, infinitely. If there are more than 2 repeating digits, so we place the dots above the first and the last digit only. The answer will be 0.127 and put dots above 1 and above 7. Okay? Now, you try this example 57, 20 seconds from now. Okay. Example 57, express each of the following fraction as recurring decimal. So for part A, you should get, when we express this 36 out of 222, we should get 0.162, infinitely. Okay? When there are more than 2 repeating digits, so you place the dots above the first and the last digit only. So put the dot above 1 and above 2. For part B, you should get 0.571428, 571428 infinitely, and you only put a dots above that 5 and above that 8. Alright, so this will be the last part for operations of decimal. Please complete your notes, please complete your worksheet, and as usual, we will end our session by reciting dua. Thank you so much, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Doa selepas belajar. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma inni astaudi'uka ma 'allamtani fardudhu ilayya inda hajati ilaihi wala tansani ya rabbal alamin. Ya Allah, sesungguhnya aku menitipkan padamu ilmu-ilmu yang telah engkau ajarkan kepadaku, dan kembalikanlah kepadaku sewaktu aku memerlukannya kembali. Dan janganlah engkau lupakan aku kepada ilmu itu, wahai Tuhan yang memiliki semesta alam. Amin.